and hopefully now with the fall off in the numbers coming into the country, that we'll have the opportunity to restructure our migration system to ensure that we have a system that benefits migrants coming in, benefits the Irish economy and benefits Irish society in general, and that we put a clear integration strategy in place, because there hasn't been an integration strategy here in this country.
Denis, you just did an interview there. Can you tell me who it was for?
We're doing with the Finnish National Television. It's an hour-long programme that they're doing in relation to migration across Europe and the impact that immigration has had here in this country vis-a-vis what has happened in Latvia, where they're also looking at, you know, people leaving Latvia and coming to here, their experience here in Ireland, the experiences back at home.
Okay, and what are they experiencing similar issues over there to what we are here?
I think they are, probably not to the same extent that we have seen in the last number of years here, because we have seen a historic shift in migration that nowhere else in the world has seen. A point that I was making to the Finns was that the UK has seen a significant movement in migration over a 40-year period. We have seen the same scale of migration here in this country in a 4 to 6 year period. And with that brings huge challenges for government and for politicians to try and put the structures in place to deal with the impact that this has on the ground. For example, the problem that we have in our schools with ensuring that pupils have a good understanding and comprehension of the English language, people that are working in Irish society, that they have a good understanding of the English language, and also the challenges that it brings in relation to our social welfare system, in relation to our citizenship laws and our residency laws here.
Of course, unemployment is a huge issue for every Irish person, but is it hitting immigrants harder at the moment?
The research that has been done shows that it is actually hitting immigrants far harder than it's hitting Irish people, that employers now are giving preference to Irish people over migrants for interviews and for jobs. And I think what we need to do is to deal with some of the challenges that are there at the moment. For example, one of the ways that we can actually improve competitiveness and efficiency in our economy very quickly is there are quite a number of migrants that are here who are highly qualified in some of the areas where there is actually still demand and jobs still being created. But because they may not have, for example, the proper language skills, they're not able to fill that job. And we're now going out trying to bring someone else in to fill that position, while that other person is on the live register claiming their PRSI-based social welfare payment. So surely it makes far more sense to try and get them off the live register and into that job if they're qualified for it. And the same with Irish people. And I think the other thing is that we need to deal with now is that there is, and there has been, discussion in relation to migrants with maybe poor language skills. We also have a problem here in this country with our own people who have maybe poor literacy skills, or kids in school that have problems with speech and language difficulties. We cannot try and segregate the two sections of society that we have today. There are challenges in relation to migrant children having a good understanding of the English language. There are also challenges in relation to Irish children with the need for supports in relation to speech and language therapy, occupational therapy and so forth. And we need to get a proper balance there, that we're not actually favouring one over another.
So what do you think can be done about English language and training? Do we have the money for it, and should we be putting this across to adults and children, or should there be a vetting process for migrants coming in?
Well, I don't think it'll actually cost us money. There is astronomical sums of money. Over €300 million has been spent in the last 4 years on English language training for migrant pupils in our schools. It hasn't delivered. And what we want to see happen in Fine Gael is we want to see the system restructured and changed, that it actually delivers a quality training for those children, that they get a good understanding in the English language, and they do it over a short period of time. For example, thousands of Irish children go during the summer to the Gaeltacht to learn the Irish language. What we're proposing is that you would have intensive language schools maybe in the month of August, so that when migrant pupils start back in primary school or in secondary school on the 1st of September, they're up to speed in relation to language, and that they don't need the additional resources throughout the school year. So by changing the way that we're actually delivering the service, I believe that we can actually improve the quality of education that we're providing to migrant pupils, and also reducing the money, and that additional saving that's made can be put in to provide the additional speech and language therapists that are needed for Irish children, that can provide the additional supports and SNAs that are needed to support Irish children in the classroom.